You are newborn, and in that moment of unknowingness and of admitting and embracing your powers of renewal, you can finally learn what it is you are here to learn. Be not so certain or so experienced when this card comes to you. Be new, be fresh, be unwise, be unknowing, be innocent, and then the new cycle can truly begin. Hi, I'm Ashleigh, and welcome to the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. This is a place for the crystal curious, arcane-minded, and everything in the in-between. In this podcast, we will jump down the rabbit hole into the metaphysical, esoteric, occult, and spiritual realms. Nothing is off limits. I'm a mom, wife, an orthopedic physician assistant by day, and a seeker of all things spooky and kooky by night. I've spent my entire career in the medical field, but have always felt like there is more out there, and this is where we will explore together. We will have conversations with crystal healers, rock hounds, artists, musicians, spiritual coaches, magic makers, and anything woo-woo that strikes our fancy. Let's take our spiritual journey to the next level. So grab a crystal, pour a cup of tea. It's time to feel the big crystal energy. Welcome back to the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. I am Ashleigh, and I am so happy to have you here. It's Earth Day, friends. It is Earth Day. So, like the cheesy gal that I am, I've got my green shirt on. I've got some Earth Day jewelry. And I also thought this was perfect because today's episode is all about Taurus season. But before I get into all of that, what are we drinking? What are we sipping tonight? Normally, I just go with some seltzer water, a little LaCroix, something like that. Tonight, I think it calls for a little bit of vino, a little Sauvignon Blanc. It just felt necessary. It's been a week, and I'm going to have a little sip to that. Delicious. But yes, we are stepping into Taurus season. It is upon us. And this is a time of grounding, receiving, and reconnecting with what really matters. After the fast start of Aries season, Taurus invites us to slow our pace, deepen our breath, and settle into the beauty of the present moment. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through energies of the season, share some of my favorite crystal and herb correspondences. I'm going to offer a simple ritual, which I think you will love, and that you can just do at home. And I have a quote that I found that I thought would be perfect for this episode we'll end on, that really encapsulates the spirit of Taurus season. So whether you're listening to this on a walk, or you're curled up on the couch with a glass of wine or a cup of tea, let's get into this together. But you know how I have to start my episode. Got my favorite little bell here. Ding, ding, ding. What is bringing me big crystal energy this week? You guys, if you are not following me on social media, you need to get over to @mystical.mama.ash, because I have been talking about my newest friend, my newest acquisition, the great Madam Lydia. Madam Lydia, okay? If you are not familiar with Madam Lydia, if you have not been on my social media, I have to introduce her to you. Okay, so you also should probably be watching this on YouTube, because you're really going to you're going to see what crystals I'm using. You're going to get to meet Madam Lydia. All of the things. You're going to see how crazy my hair is today, because it just is. And you're going to get to see my really cool green tank top that I got at Target. And the Oracle card, the Oracle deck that I'm using. You're going to get to see all of that stuff. So please go over to my YouTube channel, Big Crystal Energy Podcast, YouTube. You guys, I have at least 5 to 6 followers. Okay. Things are getting massive over there. Okay. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make me feel less pathetic with my 5 to 6 subscribers. I don't know. Maybe it's more. Honestly, I really don't know. But just for the purpose of the people that are watching and because I'm really trying to encourage that, I'm going to introduce you to Madam Lydia. I'm pulling her out right now. Okay. Here she comes. Madam Lydia is a lizard. And not only that, she is a fortune teller. She is a sassy bitch. She is magical. She is wonderful. She has a crystal ball. She has her amethyst. She has her cabinet of curiosities. She has just a vibe about her. She has lived on this earth many years and she has so much wisdom. So as you know, we all have social media, right? And we get things that come into our feed from time to time that we are just drawn to. I don't know how else to say it. We are drawn to. Okay. So I found this creator, Todd, and he has this whole selection of taxidermy lizards that he puts voices to. I don't know how to explain this without sounding crazy. Anyway, so he had this lizard and he had her in this whole room and this whole thing. And I was like, I need this so much in my life. So I decided that I must splurge and that I must have Madam Lydia. And his packaging was immaculate. However, the little cabinet of curiosities within the home, within the living room of the taxidermy lizard, Madam Lydia, did get damaged a little bit en route from where he lives in Wisconsin. So nothing that a little bit of glue cannot fix, but she's a vibe. She's my spirit individual, if you will. And you have to go to my social media. If you have not been introduced to Madam Lydia, you have to get on there and see what I'm talking about. Because right now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure I sound completely crazy. But there are things in life that we are drawn to that we often don't really understand why. And this was one of them. In other news, Todd, the creator of Toddities, he's going to be coming on the podcast and I'm interviewing him next week. So I'm super pumped for that. And it's going to be a wild conversation. I know, because I know he's going to bring the energy, the big crystal energy. So yes, I have now a spirit individual, the great Madam Lydia, who sits on my desk and she tells me what to say and she tells me how to be. And she's bossy and she's sassy and she smokes cigarettes. And I don't like cigarettes, but she looks like she's probably about 95 years old. I'm not going to tell her to stop smoking because, you know, it's kind of her thing. So, and she's not going to tell me to stop drinking my wine either. So that's just part of it. Okay. Without sounding completely unhinged, which I am, I've decided that I am now in my unhinged era, right? Why not? This is the best time for it. If you feel called to being unhinged, join me. It's fun. It's crazy. We can say and do whatever we want. It feels so liberating. Let's just be unhinged together. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't even know what's happening. I think it's because, well, there's probably many factors as to why I'm unhinged. Number one, I'm just tired all the time. Number two, life is busy. Number three, I really just don't give an F. And number four, Madam Lydia is now in my house. So it's the season of being unhinged. Anyway, to get back to the main point of this episode, because now we are almost 9 minutes in and I haven't even really talked about Taurus season yet. So as you know, if you've been listening, I'm doing this whole year-long episode series on the Zodiac because I don't even really know basic astrology, right? I only know that I have my sun sign is a Sagittarius, barely, because I'm on the cusp. My birthday is December 20th. So honestly, I do really identify with Sagittarius, but I also really identify with Capricorn and all of those things. But I'm just trying to learn the Zodiac on a very high level overview of the Zodiac, right? My episodes are for people that are beginners like me that are just kind of, tapping their toe, just kind of trying to get into it. This is not for your seasoned astrologer, probably. If you're a seasoned astrologer, you're probably listening to my episode and like, oh my gosh, what the heck? This is just high level overview, general with my own spin. So Taurus season runs roughly from April 19th. Sorry, you guys, I'm so tired. April 19th to May 20th. It's ruled by Venus. So everything this time of year whispers, slow down, get comfortable, feel it all, which I love, especially this time of year because the changing of the seasons, it's spring outside. It just feels it almost makes me a little bit emotional thinking about it. It just feels so beautiful outside. We go out and it's warmer now. Well, where I live, it's never really that cold, but it's warmer now. It's just so lovely this time of year. And so it feels like this beautiful time to really just connect with the earth around us. So correspondences for this time of year. The symbol is the bowl. I have this adorable little bowl. So cute. I put it on my little altar. The element is earth, which is so interesting since I'm recording on Earth Day. That was not planned by any means. It's just the only day I have to record this week. The tarot suit most associated with Taurus season is the Pentacles. And as I said before, it's ruled by Venus. Aries season, when the Zodiac starts, is all about taking action. Taurus is all about embodiment. The energy says like, stay a while, tend to your body, tend to your home, tend to things that last, tend to things that are ongoing. This is a time to really root into routines that feel nourishing to you, habits that support you long-term instead of things that like cause you to burn out. So for me, like the habit that most supports me, which I talk about all the time, are my daily walks. This is a really good time to settle into like foods that are comforting for you. That doesn't necessarily mean like eating all the carbs and just like indulging on comfort foods, but it just foods that make you feel good. Time to have more baths, maybe go on more long walks, maybe cuddling up in a corner with a book, having your tea, putting away your phone, disconnecting a little bit. Why? Because you can. We don't have to be connected all the time. I mean, think back to when you were younger. I mean, if you're anywhere in the age range of me, when I was younger, we didn't even have cell phones. I mean, we did, but they were very basic. They weren't smartphones. They were just phones. So just put those things away a little bit. Just enjoy the world around you. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the present moment. I am trying to really focus on reading for fun and not just for work or just for the podcast. I'm reading a book called The Bane Witch by Ava Morgan, which is something I want to talk about, not on this podcast necessarily, not on this podcast episode, because I'm trying to put together a book club for the podcast. And the first book is The Bane Witch by Ava Morgan, which I have been loving. The back of the book says that it's practical magic meets Gone Girl. I don't really agree with that. To me, I get more like practical magic meets Dexter. If you have seen the show Dexter, it's so good. I'm almost done. I'm like trying not to read it too fast because I'm going to be sad when it's over. That book has literally every theme that I love in it, but that's for another episode. So I've just been trying to focus on my reading. I've been trying to relax a little bit more at the end of the day, which is very challenging when you have little kids, and, have a glass of wine here and there, make some hot tea if I want to, whatever feels good, whatever makes me feel a little bit more settled. I have my notes here, you guys. I need notes. I'm sorry, my voice is sounding really like froggy and scratchy. which I hate, but that's just where we're at tonight. I like to keep it real around here, you know? I just like to keep it real. Okay. So let's see here. Now, the shadow side of Taurus can be this resistance to change or getting too comfortable, too attached to comfort. But it's also a chance to ask ourselves a few questions. What are things or routines or things going on in our life that are worth sustaining? What things actually feel safe? What just feels safe or what just feels familiar? Are we doing certain things because they're comforting, or are we just doing them because we don't know any other way? Are we staying stuck in a routine, or are we doing this because it's a comfortable, fun thing for us to do? So this is a great season to give ourselves a moment to pause, to reflect, to savor those moments. This is a beautiful time of year to find all the beauty in our lives, not just because we're checking off a to-do list, but because we're just taking in the world around us. Because honestly, at the end of the day, we deserve to feel the world around us. We deserve to settle into the moments. We deserve to have a moment to relax. I personally really struggle with Taurus season. I'm going to be very honest. I have a very, very hard time relaxing. I mean, I have a new couch that we bought for our living room over a month ago, and I have probably sat on it twice, which is sad, but that's the reality of the situation. So, you know, my life is always hustle, bustle, you know, balancing full-time work, the kids, the podcast, travel, all of the things. And right now we are getting ready to go to Los Angeles over the weekend. Hence why I am recording on a weeknight, a school night, which is not something I would normally do. But after we get back from this trip, I really want to focus on settling down and just settling into a more relaxed routine, because after this, it's going to be summer and we're going to be going into a very, very busy season with travel and just like lots of activities going on. So I personally am happy to learn more about Taurus season, because it is a reminder for me that while I am easily pulled into the hustle and bustle lifestyle, it is also necessary to pull back and just enjoy the moment. Before I hit record on this episode, I have this oracle deck that I felt would be perfect for this episode. And I've pulled from this deck before on previous episodes. I'm not sure which episode I pulled it for, but it's called The Fairy Forest. And when I think of Taurus season, I just really think of green, that earthly energy. And so this deck, which if you're watching YouTube, you can see the deck, the box from the deck right here. And so I pulled, which was crazy. It was the perfect card to pull. I pulled the Green Witch, which is all about, it says on the bottom of the card, the Green Witch, and it says fresh, new spring. So this card is all about renewal, earth magic, just a deep connection with the world around us. It reminds us that healing doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as quiet as just like sunlight on your skin, or when you take a deep breath and you smell something beautiful when you go outside. And so I felt like the energy of this card was perfect. Let me read a little bit from the book. The Fairy Forest by Lucy Cavendish is the oracle deck. When you are pure of heart, the whole world is full of potential. And this is the message from this innocent green witch to you. She is green, as in the fresh new shoot from the seed pushing urgently toward the sun. She is green and connected to the earth, flowing with the cycles of nature. She is green in that she looks as much to the natural world for company, friendship, and fulfillment as you currently do to fellow humans. She is your reminder to begin to reconnect to the wild green world, to the fairy forests all about you, to go back to a place where you empty yourself of expectations and stories and knowledge, and just admit that in some circumstances and at some times you are as a babe. You are newborn, and in that moment of unknowingness and of admitting and embracing your powers of renewal, you can finally learn what it is you are here to learn. Be not so certain or so experienced when this card comes to you. Be new, be fresh, be unwise, be unknowing, be innocent, and then the new cycle can truly begin. Isn't that so cool? I love that, because sometimes we can always think that we're just such an expert on everything, that we know, maybe in our jobs, we've been doing our job forever and we just know the ins and outs of everything. But sometimes it's nice to sit back and think, okay, well, what is it that I can actually still learn from this position? I think about that all the time, right? So I have been working in orthopedic surgery for almost 10 years, and I mostly focus on hand surgery. And while I see a lot of the same stuff day in and day out, which can get very routine, I've been thinking about different ways that I can approach these things with my patients. What are new things that I can learn about these conditions that I've been treating for years? What are new ways that I can discuss these things with my patients? What are new ways that I can show up with this information and feel excited about it? We can always be learners, even if we are doing something that is so common and routine to us. There's always an opportunity to learn more and to express that information in a new and different way. A lot of times we can feel very frustrated and kind of bored with the things that we're doing. And maybe we are in a place where we are unhappy with our work or we're bored with our work, but it's also not the best time for us to change careers, or maybe, just different things going on. The way that I look at this is that maybe we just take a step back and we reapproach our positions or our jobs in a way that we can be learners again. Because sometimes information changes over time. There's always new information that comes out that's available. There's always a new way to approach things. And so I have found that as a mindset tactic, very helpful for me in my job, which a lot of the time, the things that I'm seeing and the things that I'm doing, as with most jobs, becomes very routine, right? So we can often feel like we go into a situation and we can just hit play, and then we just get this autopilot spiel that comes out of us where we're just kind of like going through the routine. But maybe it's nice to revisit the things and find a new way to approach the topic, find a new little spiel that you give people when you talk about it, to revitalize yourself and then to just bring that energy into the situation. I know that's a bit of a tangent, but I think that it's also very important. And it's just something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially being in this season where, I've been in my same job for a very long time. And then I'm also trying to build something new on the side, but revitalizing my day-to-day work also makes me feel excited and more enthusiastic for the work that I do with this podcast, with everything in general, because I feel like when I'm showing up for my regular life as my best and most excited self, then I'm really showing up for everything in my life in that same way. Now, the next part of all of this is I want to get into the crystal correspondences and the herb correspondences. So, I have some relatively common stones that I'm going to be talking about. And then I'm also going to be talking about one of my very favorite crystals in the entire world of all time. And I felt like Taurus season, I felt like this episode was the perfect time to really introduce this particular crystal that I'm absolutely obsessed with. So, for Taurus season, here are some of my go-to crystals that I like to use that are easy to obtain and most people have heard of them. Number one, rose quartz. I have right here this beautiful little rose quartz skull. I love skull carvings. I've talked about that before. This rose quartz is really great for heart healing and just softening our inner critic. So many times that we can feel so critical of ourselves. We can be asking ourselves, why are we doing this? Why are we pursuing these things? And maybe just holding a little piece of rose quartz can help kind of calm those things down. I also have one of my other favorites, which is malachite. Now, malachite is a very powerful stone. It is all about emotional transformation and also being really grounded into our intuition. It has this very earthy, also kind of magical banded texture to it. And I am obsessed with malachite. I mean, this little piece, even though this is just a little tumbled stone, I love to look at all the different banding patterns on it. And it just always feels so powerful when I hold this stone. I also have green aventurine. Green aventurine is great for growth, comfort, and just like this gentle prosperity. Another stone would be rhodonite. Now, rhodonite is a pink stone and it's got this, I'm not sure what the black part is. So I have this piece of rhodonite that's mostly pink. And then I have this piece of rhodonite tumbled stone that has like a lot of this black in it. And I'm not 100% sure what that is, but rhodonite is really nice. And it also feels very earthy and grounded. And rhodonite is great for your self-worth and healing old emotional patterns. Now, on to one of my favorite crystals, one of my probably top 5 crystals, if not maybe my number 1 crystal of all time, dioptase. Okay, so dioptase is almost like an emerald green. It's a copper-based mineral, and it's not quite as common. I was first introduced to dioptase when I was watching this online live sale by this couple that goes around and does live crystal sales. And they had this box of these beautiful pieces of dioptase, and I had never heard of it. And I saw it and I was like, what is that? I need to have that immediately. Well, then they were like, well, it costs this much. And I was like, whoa, what? Are you kidding me? This little tiny piece costs that much? Oh my goodness. Yes, but I still want it. So I don't have too much dioptase. I have a few pieces that are pretty special to me, but it's just absolutely stunning. That color is just unlike anything else that I really have in my collection. So I think dioptase is one of my favorite stones to collect. It's really beautiful for deep emotional release, radical self-forgiveness, and reconnecting to your heart's truth. I think dioptase is especially potent for this season. It's like a soul balm for long buried grief or the tender parts of us that are learning to receive love without fear. It's a little bit more rare, but it's very intense. But if you have a piece, like if you want to just meditate with it for a few minutes, it can totally shift your energy. I totally feel that. If I'm in a mood in some kind of way, I will pull out a piece of my dioptase and I just look at it and I just reflect on what it must have taken for this beautiful little mineral to even form. And it just has this incredibly powerful grounding sensation to it that I love. If you can get your hands on some dioptase, I would 100% recommend it. As for herbs, we have rose, which is beautiful for softness, beauty, and love. Mint, for clearing stagnant energy and refreshing your space. chamomile, which is very calming of the nervous system and it invites rest. It's great to have like a chamomile tea before bed. We have thyme, which is great for encouraging resilience, courage, and like a gentle protection. Violet, which is beautiful for emotional healing and heart-centered intuition. And you can use these different herbs in teas, your bath, incense, or just like sprinkle a little bit of the dried herb near your bed or your altar. If you're like me or you have a busy schedule, you can just take a sniff, like you can just sniff in or smell some of the herbs just to help you calm down. Maybe you smell some of the herbs or have some of the, like an herbal tea that has chamomile, and then hold one of your crystals associated with this season and just have a moment, even if it's just like 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, whatever you have to just calm down, relax, release, and just feel the moment. I think that would be beautiful. Oftentimes I say so much stuff on here and I'm like, man, I really should take my own advice. That would be really nice. I know it's so easier to, it's so easier. You guys, my brain is not working. Oh my gosh. It's so easy to give advice. It's not always easy to take the advice that you give others so freely and apply it to your own life. How many of us experience that basically daily, right? It's just so easy to be like, well, you should do this and you should do that. But then to take that, internalize it, and actually do it yourselves, so freaking challenging. So I put together a beautiful, simple ritual for Taurus season that you could just very easily do at home. This is something that I do plan to do during the season. Okay. You could do this from your home. You could do it from your backyard. You could do it out in the forest. You could do it in a chair with your headphones on, whatever works for you. You want to gather a few things, such as a green or a pink candle. If you don't have either of those, maybe just like a little tea light. That's fine. Or whatever candle you have around your house. It doesn't really matter. Grab a couple crystals, maybe one of the crystals that I suggested on this episode, but whatever makes you feel grounded, whatever makes you feel heart-centered, rose quartz, green aventurine, the dioptase, whatever. And then if you have any of these herbs, mint, chamomile, rose around your house, if you have them, if you have them in your spice cabinet, that's fine. Or maybe you have a tea that has some of these herbs in it. That's great. Then you want to have a journal or just a piece of paper and a pen and a few minutes to yourself. That's all it takes. So you're going to light your candle and then just let that flame remind you that even in stillness, energy is present. Hold your crystal, maybe your heart, your belly. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Inhale peace and exhale the tension. Let your body settle. Let your thoughts drift like a cloud. Sprinkle some of the herbs around your candle, or maybe place them in a little bowl nearby. If you're sipping tea, take a moment to really enjoy the warmth of the tea, enjoy the scent of the tea. This is the Taurus magic. It's all about beauty in the simple things. When you're ready, ask yourself, what am I ready to receive this season? What does my body need from me right now? And just write down what comes up for you. No judgment. You don't have to fix anything. Just listen to the things that are popping into your mind and just write them down. When you're done, close your journal and whisper this intention out loud or in your heart. I ground into this moment. I soften into trust. I allow beauty and peace to find me. And you can return to this ritual anytime you need a moment to remember who you are underneath all of the chaos and noise in life. This is especially helpful around the new moon or full moon in Taurus. And just to end things, Taurus season is just not about the hustle and bustle. It's about honoring what already is inside of you. It's about trusting what is blooming quietly underneath the surface. Whether you're in a season of growth, whether you're in a season of rest, or somewhere in between, give yourself permission to be where you are. And I'm going to leave you with this beautiful quote that I feel captures Taurus season energy. It says, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." And this quote is by, I'm probably going to murder the name, Lao Tzu. So until next time, my friends, don't forget to explore the world and find the magic. Cheers, and go out there and find the big crystal energy. For me, I'm going to be holding my dioptase extra close this season. Bye! Thank you so much for jumping down the rabbit hole with me. If you connected with this episode in any way, I would love it if you could share it with a friend. Also, please tag me on social media. I'm at mystical.mama.ash or at Big Crystal Energy Podcast, mostly on Instagram. It helps so much getting my episodes out there and finding more magical, kooky, and spooky friends. Sending you all big crystal energy. Cheers!